Hey people of the internet, I am here for a video. I hope I didn't rub off some of my blush. Also, I did pan nails, just cause, yesterday. And lesbian nails. Lesbian. Pan. Which I just thought it was cool. Because I usually do my bisexual nails, but I was like, I'll do it a little different. I'll do some different pride flags. So I did. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is I would like to discuss with you why I think Huntlow is the worst Owl House couple. Which is an insult, but there's not really that many couples, to be honest. There was Odalia and Alador. There's Rada, Lumity. There might be a couple I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, Gilbert and Harvey Park. Those are all the relevant ones I can think of at the moment. But I would like to talk about the worst one. It's Huntlow. So I see the people that are hating, saying, oh, this is so overhated. And I see people saying it's so overloved. And I've seen more people embrace the couple. So personally, that's what I've seen. I know some people are seeing it the other way. But sometimes people like that just kind of like say that, just support their point. I've been there, believe me. But I mostly see positivity for this couple, and I don't think it's justified. Yeah. If you like them as a couple, that's fine. But I just want to dish out my opinions, like based on the canon of the show and my own personal opinions why I don't like this couple. And just to clear the bases, or not bases, but just to clear this up, I am not the most professional YouTuber. I may have been doing this for years, but with my videos like this, I tend to write a template. I don't have like a full-fledged script. I basically write ideas, and I looked at my sheet. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my sheet. And basically it just has a bunch of all the points I want to hit real quick. I want to hit in the video. But it's not a script. It's just basically me. This is basically me unfiltered, just speaking my mind. A little loosey, but it also has a template for me to follow so I don't go too far off my base. Because I will. If I didn't have this, I'd probably just ramble about the same thing over, or just forget what to even say, or forget all my opinions. Not all my opinions, but my opinions. I have ADHD, so I'm not the greatest speaker. So now that that's cleared up, I want to start talking about this. So the first thing I want to do is talk about my opinions on both respective characters. Hunter Damone, I hope I'm saying that right. And yes, I am considering Darius his father, because that's how I see them. Very beautiful relationship. I wish we saw more of them, but I can rant about that in another video if you guys would like, because I do have thoughts about it. See, ready, word vomit coming out. I'm not a good speaker. But here, you can tell by my poster right here, I like Hunter. He's on my wall. He's on my traumatized bisexual wall with Harley Quinn. I really like Hunter. He's my favorite character from the Owl House, personally. And I will admit that I think his character did partially get botched more in season 3 because of the mouse. The mouse just cutting the show off. But I think, I kind of heard things, but I don't know if this is confirmed, that season 2 is supposed to be like we'd see more of him in his redemption arc, because it felt really weird, because it felt really weird. His character was very scattered. Like in the first episode, we see him separate tides. One of my favorite episodes. I love it. It's funny. It's great. I like the way it flows. Great beginning to season 2. Like we see him all antagonistic and funny. Oh, I love Hunter in that episode. I wish we saw more of the Golden Guard. Like, he is so bratty and funny. He's just terrible. I kind of love that. But then the next time we see him, I think, like in a full-fledged episode, it's hunting Palisman, and you can already tell they're peeling back his layers a little more, giving him more character, which is good. But they didn't give him enough time to be bad for me to be like, oh, this feels justified. But despite like the shortcomings his character has faced because of the mouse, I do really like him. I think he's adorable. Like when I first saw him revealed in Hunting Palisman, I was like, oh, he's kind of cute. Is that bad? I think that he's kind of cute. What I like about him personally is I like before he got revealed before season 3 basically, he was hilarious. He was freaking hilarious. I love his little attitude. I think his design is super cute. He's just funny as hell. And I love his voice. His laugh is so therapeutic in Hollow Mind. I know that's a jarring episode, but his laugh is literally so therapeutic. I love his laugh. It's amazing. Zeno Robinson does a great job voicing him. He's perfect for the character. One thing I do like about season 3 Hunter is he's dorky, he's adorable, he's more open with people. Like he opens up more vulnerably in season 3. Except when Luce gets her talisman, which I can talk about in another video too, because that was weird. Like, all he did in the back was make a sad face and they just carried on. I know he's emotionally a guarded character because of how he was raised, but it just feels weird for him to be mad the whole episode and then not implode, like that, let strong emotion not implode once Luce gets her talisman. It feels very weird. It doesn't sit right with me because it doesn't make sense from what they build up. Yeah, I blame the mouse for that, though, not Dana and her team. Dana and her team, I realized, did the best that they could with the time they were dealt with. So I appreciate them, and I do love the Owl House, so I want to make sure that's clear. I love this show. It's my favorite show. But those are kind of the main bases. I like Hunter. I also like his, I know there's some people that are, like, kind of mixed about if he's a neurodivergent character or not, but I do like the idea. I do understand why people think it's not neurodivergence, it's more PTSD, because those two, sometimes people blur the lines between them. Either way, I really like his character. I don't know what else to say, I just really like him. I usually don't like antagonists, so when I realized I liked Hunter and he was my favorite, I was like, what the heck? I never liked the meaner people. I know he had his redemption arc, but at the beginning he was like, oh, I'm totally fine with killing the main three, just off with them. And at the end he's like so different, but I love him. I love his arc. I love how he starts. I love the sewing. I love everything he does in season 3, almost, because he gets little screen time in season 3, but from what I see, I do love. But I do miss, obviously, the more jokester Hunter. He kind of lost his jokes along the way. Like, somehow he got soft, but he also got unfunny. I don't know why. I do relate to his character. I forgot to mention that. I do relate to the unfortunately being manipulated by someone you thought you could trust and being betrayed by people like that. I understand that feeling. I hate to admit it, but I do relate to the character on that, so that does make me like him more. Also, he's bisexual, and I was right about that, and I headcanoned that. I think since I finished watching the show that because I was late to the show. I started watching it before the Hollow Mind episode came out. I remember headcanoning him. I was like, for some reason, this character gives me strong bisexual vibes, and I don't know why. Like, I saw other people being like, oh no, he's gay. Oops. Oh no, he's gay. He's straight. He's aro ace. And I'm like, like, those are cool headcanons, but, like, for some reason, he just rings as bisexual to me. And guess what? I was freaking right. Zeta Terrace confirmed him, and I am so happy about that and proud. I will literally never shut up about that, because I am so happy we got bisexual Hunter. Another bi-male character to our category. W as hell. Valid as hell. Yes. Let's go on to our second character. This video is going to be so long. Jesus Christ. I'll try to edit this because this is going to be really long. Our second character is Willow Park. Oh, Willow. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm going to get bashed for this, aren't I? I like Willow. I really do. But I'm not fully in love with her. Like, I've seen other people in the community be in love with her. Like, I get her. I think she's sweet. She's friendly. But I think one thing that pulls me back is that her character is very inconsistent. Much like Hunter's, actually. But I feel like her inconsistency bothers me to a degree, more of a degree. Because I feel like in season 1, she was a nice character. Season 2 is where we went. I will go into that more throughout the video because it actually has to do with Hunter being introduced to her. Like, ever since they met, she went downhill. That's just, like, I guess a teaser for the rest of the video. Yeah, they were very choppy with her character. I'm gonna try not to talk about her with Hunter in the picture and just try to talk about her as her own solo character. We'll get to why he messed her character up later. We'll get to that way later. Believe me, I will get to it. Before that, I think Willow's sweet. I think she's a strong character. Like, not strong, like, She's like amazing character, but I think she's a sweet companion for Luce. I can see why they click, and I can see why she clicks with Gus. I think their friendships are cute, but I've never been attached to her, because one thing that does bother me about her is she feels a little hypersensitive at times, or she could be like a little too naive at times. She's I don't know. Like, I just want to bring it that I like Willow. I love her design. I think she's really cute. Like, visually to look at. I think she's adorable. I love her hair. Like, all parts of her hair. Not all parts. Like, every time they did something different with her hair, I've liked it. I like how... I just like her comedy's cute. I like her relationship with her dads. I think that's sweet. And one of my favorite episodes actually is where they go in Willow's mind, so I can't say I hate Willow. I like Willow. I just don't love her like a lot of the fandom does. The Willow's Mind episode is very good. I feel like that was like kind of a peak for her character. Like, story-wise, that was a peak for her. I guess that's all I have to say about her. So one of my first points is, I get it, but I don't get it. And what that means is I get why these characters together on paper sounds good, but personally I don't get it. Like, I don't see it. Like, I see it, but I don't like it. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like, on paper, I get that she is the character, the sweet character. She's the sweet, caring, like, she, like, puts all her, like, problems, like, especially in season 3, she's, like, we see her push her problems to the side, act like everything's fine with her, so she could be there for her friends. She's very self-sacrificial, basically, is what I'm saying. To be there for her friends. And I get how that would click with Hunter. That makes sense. Like I get how they're close, because Willow supplies with emotional support and kindness, and that's something Hunter doesn't see a lot. And I also get the whole Willow loves trees and stuff and nature, and Hunter is literally made out of palistern wood. But for me, that rings way too corny. I hate that. I don't know if that's confirmed why that happened, but I'm pretty sure it is, is why. And something about that idea really bugs me, because it's so corny, and I kind of hate it. It's kind of made me hate the couple more, like, putting that connection together. It's too corny for me. I saw someone bring that up, and I was like, dude, this literally just made me hate Huntlow like 10 times more. I was like, oh my gosh, please tell me that was like a coincidence, because oh my gosh. But yeah, I do get that, and we do see sweet moments between them protecting each other, like in fights, and I see that as also kind of like playing into the idea that Willow is protective over Hunter, which we see in throughout season 3 and in Labyrinth Runners. And we also see Hunter protecting Willow, like in Any Sport is a Storm, and numerous episodes in season 3. I feel like I'm really bad at talking, I'm sorry. But like, we see that side of them wanting to protect each other, especially because it makes sense, because Willow has been bullied. Has been bullied by Basha, and she's lacked self-esteem. Like, Hunter relates to that too. He's lacked his own self-esteem because of his upbringing. I get that. I get how that's like their clique. They're like, oh, we're not as different as we may think, kind of thing. Like, we both have insecurities, and we both need a friend, and they both they both act like that friend for each other, and that's how it blossoms into romance. So yeah, I get the point, I get the foundation, I get the click, I get the connection, why they became a couple. They're not canonically, I guess, a couple, but we do see them being a little kind of like, it's suggested that they're together, romantically linked, basically. And that's where my problem lies. The thing that mostly bothers me about this couple is Willow's character inconsistency, which I mentioned earlier. Her character, like, firstly is upset with Amity because Amity stopped being friends with her and she cut her off, and she didn't know why. She thought it was because she was too weak, which makes her we see her working out in a couple episodes in season 2. Like, and it shows that insecurity that Amity gave her from dumping her as a friend. Well, you see how that manifests into her life now, that she's working to be strong because she doesn't want to be considered weak anymore. And we see that later on, that we see that Amity, like Willow, is finding it hard to forgive her because of this issue, because Amity betrayed her and put this big weight of insecurity on her shoulder, and she's finding it hard to like trust her and be comfortable around her, basically. And the way the way their whole dispute is solved is literally by Willow showing Amity that she's strong, when that was clearly not the full issue. Like, it was a part of the issue, but Willow never held that against her. She held that as a way to strengthen herself, strengthen her mind, help with her insecurities. She didn't, Amity has some part of it, but that's not fully why Willow won't forgive Amity. It's because, I don't know how to explain it, but that's just not the full extent of why, and I think it's a dumb way to clear up that. It's just weird that she was so mad at her about this. Like, she was upset with her for a while, and then they try to clear it up in the dumb way, a dumb, easy way, which is annoying. But let's add Hunter to the mix, shall we? Hunter does something far worse to Willow. He lies to her, basically manipulates her, and then kidnaps her and her friends. And guess what Willow does in that same exact episode? She forgives him. She forgives her freaking kidnapper before she forgives an ex-friend who has actually shown some promise and care for her feelings. Hunter has shown none of those things. The only reason he ends up freeing the kids, it's shown before the scene, is because he feels bad for the Palisman. He doesn't care about the Hex Squad. He doesn't care about them. But Willow forgives him before she forgives Amity, who has never kidnapped her. What? I know they both at some point betrayed her, but he freaking kidnapped her and put her in danger and wanted her to basically be a child soldier. What? But Willow's okay with this. She let it slide. She's like, it's cool, dog. She forgave him for the sake of the freaking plot. And I hated it so much. What? How would she forgive her kidnapper who doesn't care about her? Like, we made that kind of clear. But she won't forgive Amity, who's apologized and promised to stop letting Basha bully her and all this stuff, and shown some promise, and has come off sweet with Willow for some episodes, like in Eclipse Lake. Like, we see her, like, Willow being like, oh, it's weird seeing you around, but like, I like it, something like that. That's not what she says. It's way better than what I just said. She just met this guy and he betrayed her, manipulated her, and kidnapped her, but she's like, nah, God, no, it's good. What? It's so stupid. I hate it. Oh my God. If I forgave someone just because they were cute, Willow, screwed I would be emotionally for that. I would be so freaking screwed because I keep all the toxic people around me. Because, like, beyond that, like, exterior, the interior is effed up. It's messed up. She forgave him because she thought he was cute, and we all know it's true. What? She literally has Stockholm Syndrome for this man, and nobody cares. They think it's cute. Willow, what the frick? And it doesn't make sense for her character, because her character isn't usually this naive. And I know I called her naive earlier. That's because I called her naive for this plot. And, like, throughout the episode, like, why does Willow need Hunter when we've seen her perfectly capable of defeating people on their own? And how come her eyes glow green when she's mad at Amity, something Amity said, but her eyes don't grow freaking green when she's being kidnapped? Or when she's on the ship with Darius. Why is she so freaking calm when she's being held captive? But she gets mad at something Amity said to her. What? Why is she so mad at freaking Amity when she should be so freaking mad at Hunter? I don't understand it. Why does she forgive him, but she takes forever to forgive Amity? Like, what is the consistency? There's no consistency with her. She's impulsive. She's literally impulsive. Something fell over, but she's so inconsistent in who she forgives, and I hate it. Oh my gosh, this is my #1 problem with the couple. There it is. That's why. That's why I wanted to make this video, so I got this point across to you. Jesus Christ. Okay, taking a deep breath. I think it's dumb that Willow forgave her so easily and stuff, but let's just act like that's okay, right? Even then, I see no romantic chemistry between these two. Like, I look at them and I just see a pair of best friends. That's literally all I see. I can't see anything beyond that. I literally feel the bromance before I feel the romance. They just don't, I don't personally like how I just look at them and their moments together. Like when Hunter helps her, when she's like frees her from her own, like, cause she's trapped in her mind and she's building all these vines and grabbing them and stuff. Like, I like that sweet moment where Hunter reassures her that she didn't do anything wrong, basically, and all this stuff. It's him or whatever. Like, that's a sweet moment. But for me, I was like, oh, they're cute, like, as best friends. Like, I see that. But then oh my gosh, and then they further it. They further it later and say, you mean a lot to me too. It's implied that it's in a romantic sense, but when I look at this scene, I don't feel the chemistry. I don't feel any sparks. There's no fireworks. I feel like, great, you know, sarcastically, oh great, now they're gonna put these two together, who I think literally have no chemistry whatsoever. They have more chemistry. Who has more chemistry than them? Freaking a peanut butter and, let me think of something gross. A peanut butter and relish sandwich has more chemistry than these two, romantically. They just have more chemistry, and that's sad because it sounds disgusting, but they have more chemistry than these freaking, ugh. Like, anytime I see them on screen, no. I think it's forced. Personally, their coupling feels very forced. The pacing is terrible. Their couple feels so forced to me. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I just feel like this couple, like, they feel like a PR couple to me. I don't know. They have no chemistry. Nothing, no moments they share together when they're saving each other. I'm like, oh, they're so cute romantically. I'm like, oh, they're good best friends protecting each other. Like, they're good friends, you know? And it's just, I feel no chemistry. I just feel nothing. When Hunter blushes when he sees Willow, I just kind of cringe. I don't think they look good together at all. I don't like how their designs, for some reason, like, seeing them together, I don't like. In a romantic sense, I don't like. Something about their designs don't go together. I don't know what it is. That's like the least of my problems, though. I think they look good together as friends, basically. But literally when I see them when they're on screen, I crap you not. I would say a harder word, but I don't like cursing, so I feel annoyed. Like, in the scene, you know the scene in Thanks to Them intro where Willow is cutting Hunter's hair and Hunter's all like tomato because he's cringy bisexual panic boy, you know? I literally walk out when I'm rewatching the show because I think it's so cringy and I feel so annoyed when they're on screen romantically linked. Like, it really freaking bothers me. Like, I don't feel like the love when I watch Lumity or Rada. I feel like distaste and dislike and disgust all at the same time. All the disses, they just make me cringe. And then that scene where they're like, oh, you mean a lot to me too, and they're holding pinkies and I don't like that. And then watching and dreaming when they're like going down the hill together, I don't like that either because I know they're romantically implied, and that bothers the hell out of me. Anytime I see them, I feel annoyed. But especially in For the Future, where they sacrifice so much freaking screen time for their crummy, thrown together romance. Like, they're like I like the scene, like I said, when he comforts Willow. That's sweet. But they further it, and they imply it, that they're romantically like each other. And it takes up too much freaking screen time. It takes up too much screen time. We could have gotten development of we saw like a little bit of Hunter hurting because of Flapjack. But we could have seen him react better. You know what we could have done with that screen time? Instead of trying to link these two romantically, close in, like, leave that alone. Like, they have a close relationship. We could have fleshed out Willow more, because Willow gets thrown to the side, tossed to the side, all her emotions, like everything that just happened, where she basically had an emotional, like, I don't know, maybe like a depressive episode is what you could describe what she went through. They just like, oh, Hunter has powers now. What the frick? Why did they throw Willow's emotions to the side for this? We could have fleshed out Willow more with that time instead of later on romantically linking them. And we could have seen Hunter actually have emotions when Stringbean is revealed. Or we could have seen more Basha and Amity's dispute. We could have seen more like why Basha's like this. We get that she's jealous, but like how so? Why? We could have seen more of her. We could have seen more of Gus and Matt interacting because they're an actually well-developed friendship. This is a very controversial opinion, and I'm gonna close the video with this opinion, but Gus Stolomule has more development, more convincing development, more fleshed out development than frickin' Huntlow, and they're not even canon. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. I know so many people just clicked off, disliked this video just for that comment alone, but literally, let's look at Gus Stolomule, okay? Also, yes, I do ship them as a pair. I think they're adorable, but that's besides the point. Take the bias aside. Gus, when we first see Gus and Bartholomew, it's not Escaping Expulsion. I always get that confused. Frick. I don't know what it's called. But you know what I'm talking about, where we meet his character and he's in the Human Appreciation Society and he wants to be the president of the club or whatever, so he exposes Gus as a liar, essentially. That's where we meet them. I looked it up and the episode was named Something Ventured, Someone Framed. That's where he outed Gus as bisexual. Just kidding. Bro, oh my gosh. And okay, I can talk about Gus Stolomule another time. I was gonna ramble about them, but I will not for the sake of the video. Someone Ventured, Someone Framed, like they kind of make up because Gus comes to Matt's aid despite him being a little bit of a douche. But that's okay, because I love Matt, and he's one of my favorite characters as well. Why do I like the douchey characters in the Owl House? I don't know. I just think they're the funniest. Why are they written so funny? Like, why are you funny? Why are you so funny? It's not fair to be this funny and evil at the same time for a short period. Even if you guys get redemption arcs. It's not fair. So so he saves him, and then he's kind of like, oh, you're not so bad. But we do end him with him becoming the president and him still being like, yeah. Matt, silly boy. So then they skip to through the Looking Glass ruins. And I would like to remind you that Matt isn't a complete psychopath, right? He hasn't kidnapped anyone. I mean, yeah, he betrayed them, just like Hunter, but he didn't kidnap them, right? He isn't as crazy as Hunter, right? Never kidnapped them at all. He was a little bit of a douche, yes, but there's room for redemption, right? You didn't kidnap them like Hunter, the psychopath here, okay? Just want to remind you so I can continue. So basically what happens is we see him in the Looking Glass ruins, which I keep mentioning, where we see most of their development. And I just want to remind you that though Matt and Gus kind of had like a accepting of, oh, you saved me and I appreciate that, but like that kind of exchange, and then he was like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but your execution was crap, my dude. But like they didn't fully patch things up. Like there's still some kind of tension there, right? Like it wasn't fully like, oh, we're best friends now, or anything like that, like we had with Huntlow, right? Where that episode they just became friends and it was fine. And I know in Labyrinth Ruins, like Runners, Willow is a little hesitant with if she should like stick up for Hunter, but she still ended up doing it, first of all. And second of all, I feel like it's made up, kind of like just made up to add tension to the show, because we see beforehand that she texts Hunter. Like, I think that's a little inconsistent there, a little inconsistent patch there I'd also like to mention. I forgot to bring it up earlier, but here it is. Here is the part in the video where it's more inconsistent. But the second episode we have dedicated to the relationship is Through the Looking Glass Ruins, where basically Gus joins Matt with some Galandis kids on the search for the Looking Glass ruins. And throughout the episode we see Matt be upset with Gus, like kind of on his man period, you know? And the reason he's upset with Gus is because he is getting along so well with Bria, basically. Not because it's over a girl, it's because Matt is scared, basically, essentially, that Gus is gonna follow with the Glandis kids and bully him. Basically, that's the reason. Sorry, this feels kind of tight right now. Basically, that's the reason. So there's like a little tension there. And even when they first meet, like, Matt's a little hostile towards Gus because they're not fully on great terms. They just kind of forgave each other, but they didn't, like, forget, basically, what happened. Like, Gus kind of did. Gus is kind of teasing Matt throughout the episode. Like, he's a little more cool with him, but Matt's a little hot-headed, a little hostile with him, which I guess makes sense, even though he was in the wrong. Basically, he's still on his redemption arc, so he's kind of on his man period through half the episode. But later on, we do see Matt have a moment where he realizes that, you know, forget these people. Like, he didn't know they were going to do something like that, like steal the stones, because they steal the Galder stones, basically. And he has a moment where he helps Gus because they trapped him because Gus tried to rebel against the Glandis kids, but Matt helps him. And he has this moment of self-reflection where he's like, you know, I teased you for being an illusionist this whole episode, and I was on my man period with you the whole episode, but, like, if illusions can help a dumb jerk like me, maybe they're not so useless after all. He says something. I think that's exactly what he says, actually. So yeah, they both have this moment, and then Gus is like, thank you. I appreciate that. Because Gus, if you don't know, also had tangos with insecurity himself. So hearing that, he's kind of like, oh, wow, he thinks that of me? So it's kind of a nice moment, little heartwarming moment for the two and for Gus himself. So they band together, save everything, and then later they're like, Matt like volunteers to help the ghost guy, I don't know his name, the keeper of the stones, I think that's what he's called, and he agrees to help Gus with it, basically. And it's a sweet little moment. We don't get to see it, but it's off screen, so we're just assuming that they're friends now. Well, kind of. Well, we assume that they're friends, but at the end of the episode, like, Gus asks if that makes them friends, and then Matt's kind of like, I don't know. So we're kind of still, like, earlier we're left hanging, but this time around we realize that the relationship is more healthy because they both have an understanding of each other more. Yeah, we do, because Gus understands why he's that way, and then Matt understands that Gus doesn't like the other kids. He actually wants to be friends with Bartholomew, with Matt. I know his name is Matt. I think it's funny, Matty. And we understand that, and we see that it's left open that they do come help the keeper protect, like, help their defenses, basically, to keep the stones protected. So we have that moment, and then we have, I don't know, I haven't rewatched the show. I'm rewatching the show right now, but I didn't notice this on my last two rewatches, but apparently in one episode, I know about the Labyrinth Ruins one where Gus has a picture with Matt on his birthday. It's really cute. But there's one that, like, I think people turn a blind eye to. I've heard that in New Blood, Old Souls, I think it's called. Yeah. Young Blood, Old Souls. Yes, that's what it's called. Like, we see that Gus has some of the fake artifacts that Matt made, the fake human artifacts, and I think that's adorable, and it's also a testament to how much they've grown. Another testament to how much they've grown is when we see later on in the show that Matt gets these, like, you know how they combine tracks now, they can do multiple tracks now because of Luce, and Luce is awesome. We see, like, originally Matt's on the construction track, but we see later he joins the illusion track, and that alludes to the fact that Gus actually inspired him to join the illusionist track, because he saw, like, he's like, dang, this guy's really powerful, illusions are really cool. Like, he's inspired by Gus, and I think it's adorable. Like, even though they don't get as much screen time, they have better development, because we understand their relationship is more, like, we see the relationship be healthy, and we understand that Matt didn't kidnap Gus, like Hunter kidnapped Willow, so there's more room to forgive him for that than there's room to forgive someone who kidnapped you and romantically date them. I would rather Gus and Matt, sorry, I keep saying that, so used to it, I would rather Gus and Maddie date, because their relationship seems healthy. And even in frickin' For the Future, Matt saves Gus. He's like, oh. And then they have this moment where he's like, oh, you're not a bad ruler. You're actually a good ruler, Matt. And he's like, yeah. Like, they have those cute little moments. Like, I know Matt can be... What people don't understand is that, yeah, Matt can be abrasive, but what I think with this character is him being that way, like, being teasing and stuff like that, is just how he shows his love. Like, that's his love language. That's how he was his, that's how we saw, like, a little moment with Steve, like, him mention him, like, how he said it. It's like, I just had to get some blah, blah, blah noogies for my brother, and it's, I don't know, I get a vibe there somewhere. But that's just his love language, we've come to realize, because in thanks to them, he's still, like, kind of teasing Gus throughout the episode. But that's just, but at this point, we understand that the relationship is healthy, and that they're friends, and that they've even inspired each other in their own ways. And, yeah. Basically, that's all I wanted to say, is that Gus and Matt are healthier than Huntlow, and they're not canon, which bothers me quite a bit. Because, why? Why? Why couldn't they just be together? Oh my gosh. Gus is more healthy than Huntlow. It's just crazy. I keep saying it, but it's just crazy. And it's true. Because, why? Rewatch this video to find out why. But yeah, those are all my thoughts. Coherent thoughts on Huntlow. I just wanted to dish them out because this couple bothers me, if you couldn't tell. But if you like the couple, that's cool. I hope you just understand whatever I'm coming from, because it makes sense, in my opinion. Well, it does make sense. Yeah, but I'm not gonna... I just wanna... If you're still a Huntlow video, like, fan after this, that's cool. That's cool. But... yeah, that's all I want to say. If you're a Huntlow fan, I'm happy for you, I guess. I'm happy for you. I just don't personally get it because I see so many glaring issues within the couple themselves. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. But I'm not going to bash you for liking them. Oh, one thing I wanted to say before. Okay, I remember what I wanted to say. I've seen people be like, oh, Matt's never nice to Gus. Oh, this is not a good ship. Which is fine if you don't ship them as a pairing and you think they're more friends. Which is fine, because I understand that. But it makes no sense to say that Matt was never nice to Gus, because he literally saved him, and he was like, oh, let's revolt against Basha, basically. Like, he did that for Gus. Apparently that's mean. He was never nice to Gus. And he wasn't nice when he said, oh, illusions are cool, basically. That's not nice. That's not being nice. I know he framed it in a passive way, but that's just his character, guys. Like, newsflash, that's just his character. Like, some people are not great expressing their emotions, and I think Matt is one of those characters where that's one of his flaws. He's not good at expressing his feelings, so he comes off a little more mean, but he actually means what he's saying, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. He's a little more complex than some people give him credit for. Okay, so that's the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed me ranting and losing my mind over a cartoon couple. Tell me your opinions in the comments. Tell me if you agree, disagree, love the couple, love Huntlow, hate Huntlow. Love Gus Bartholomew, hate Gus Bartholomew, and thank you so much for watching. Bye! I probably was gonna meow again, but he just didn't. Taz.